All right, let's talk about the new season of Whispers of the Deep, because the entire world, I mean everything, is being torn apart by one single dangerous idea. So today, we're gonna break down that idea and the war it started. I want you to really sit with that for a second. And I don't mean in some kind of power of positive thinking way. No. What if your feelings, your love, your anger, your belief, had the same force as, say, gravity? What if they could literally rewrite the world around you? Because in this story, that's exactly what's happening. For the people living in this world, that question isn't just a what if anymore. It's their new and frankly terrifying reality. So how does a world just up and change the laws of physics? Well, it wasn't some big explosion or an alien invasion. It was quieter. It was sneakier. It really just started with a whisper. It started with all these little things, right? The kinds of glitches in the Matrix you'd probably just brush off. You know, thinking the exact same thing as a friend at the same time. Having a crazy run of good luck. That super weird feeling of déjà vu. But then, those little glitches started getting bigger. Two people sharing one single powerful belief? Reality didn't just bend for them anymore. It broke. So, in a world where belief is basically a weapon, it was only a matter of time before somebody learned how to aim it. And these are the people who didn't just experience the change. They started to control it. They're called the Connectors, and our main characters, Akira and Mio, they're some of the most powerful ones out there. See, they're not just living in this new reality. They are, for better or worse, the architects of it. And look at the kind of stuff they can do. This isn't just about good vibes. They can literally feel each other's presence from across a continent. They aren't just, hoping for a good outcome. They are actively twisting the odds themselves. And with the sheer force of their emotional connection, they can pull off what you could only call miracles. Of course, there's a catch. There's always a catch, right? A fatal flaw that's kind of coded into this whole new reality. Think of the world like a big, stretched out canvas. Every single time a connector performs a miracle, they pull on that canvas. And the stronger their connection, the harder they pull, and the more the very fabric of their world starts to fray and tear apart at the seams. And this growing chaos, this world that's tearing itself apart, well, that's where our antagonist comes in. But he's not your typical bad guy who just wants to watch the world burn. No, he's a philosopher. And his solution to all the chaos is both tragic and terrifyingly logical. His name is Ren. And to really get him, you have to understand where he doesn't come from. He's not some ancient cosmic being born from the deep ocean or the void. No, his origin is so much more painful and way more human than that. He was born from loss. See, Ren put the universe's new rules to the ultimate test. He loved someone with every single piece of his being. He poured all of his belief into their connection, and it wasn't enough. The miracle just never came. The universe promised him that feelings could change the world, and in his most desperate moment, that universe lied to his face. And the conclusion he pulled from all that pain, it changed everything. He didn't think his belief was too weak. No, he decided the entire system was broken. If a world built on emotion can cause this much suffering, then emotion itself is the enemy. It's like a cancer that needs to be cut out. And that right there, that's the core conflict of the whole season. This isn't just a fight between heroes and a villain. It's a full-blown war over the very definition of what it means to exist. So this is the choice the world is facing. On one side, you've got the path of connection, represented by Akira and Mio. It's a world that's full of vibrant, amazing miracles, but it's totally built on chaos. And on the other side, you have Ren's vision of disconnection, a world of perfect, predictable order that is also cold, empty, and completely dead. So when they finally confront each other, it's not a fist fight, it's a battle of ideas. Akira looks at what Ren is doing, just severing all these bonds between people, and all she can see is destruction. But Ren, he doesn't see it that way at all. In his mind, he's a surgeon, just calmly cutting out a disease. He believes he's saving the world from itself. Then Mio hits back with the absolute heart of their philosophy. A world without feelings, without all those messy, chaotic connections, well, that's not a world worth saving. It's just a beautiful, empty tomb. But for Ren, the argument couldn't be simpler. Feelings aren't the source of life. They are the source of chaos. And he is the cure. And Ren doesn't just argue his point, he acts on it. And as his influence starts to spread, the world begins to see what his perfect, orderly vision actually costs. And you can literally see the world changing. The vibrant, chaotic color of connection starts to just bleach out, and it gets replaced by his sterile, perfect order. All the impossible coincidences, the lucky breaks, the miracles, they just stop. Reality becomes predictable, stable, and absolutely lifeless. But here's the most dangerous part of Ren's whole philosophy. On some level, it kind of makes sense. And for the first time, Akira starts to doubt. She sees the destruction her own power can cause, the instability she brings to the world, and she has to ask herself the most terrifying question of all. What if he's right? So, just as this huge philosophical war is hitting its peak, and our heroes are right on the edge, something else enters the fight. Something ancient, and something nobody saw coming. The original source of the change, the power that rewrote reality in the first place, it starts to stir. But this isn't the observer we've been hearing whispers about, and it's not the destructive void either. No, this is a third, totally unknown player, and it has been watching this entire war of ideas play out. And that's it. That is the brutal cliffhanger for the season. This ancient cosmic power wakes up, and it picks a side in the war between connection and disconnection. And then the screen just cuts to black, leaving us with the one question that's going to define the future of this world. Does the universe itself prefer beautiful chaos or perfect, empty order? I guess we'll have to wait to find out.